This video is on how to put film into our film cameras. So when you have your camera, you want to make sure that you're loading the film on a table or a sturdy surface. Okay, so right now, camera, I have it sitting on top of the lens, so that way I have full access to the back. If you try to load film into the camera while holding it in one hand and it's up in the air and you're standing, it's going to make things a lot more difficult for you. So having it on a sturdy surface is preferred and ideal. So once you have the camera nice and sturdy, you're going to open up the back of the camera. So to do that, you'll lift the silver lever for the rewind crank, and you'll lift up so that the back of the camera pops open. So when you're loading film in, you want to make sure that the rewind crank is still lifted up. If you push it in, you'll have this silver pull that goes into the area where your film canister will go. And if you try to put film inside, it won't happen. That pull will be blocking the way. So you want to make sure that that is still pulled up. When you go to place film into the camera, the canister will only go in one way. If you try to put it in the other way, the tab on the film canister is going to block it. It's like putting a square block into a round circular opening. It won't happen. So the film canister only goes in one way. Once your canister is in, you can go ahead and push down the rewind crank, and that silver pull is going to go inside of the film canister, which keeps it nice and secure. From here, you'll be able to pull your film across the camera up until the end of it. And you're going to be focusing on the leader. Okay? The leader is the small tabbed end of your film. Okay? The end of the leader is going to end up going inside of these small slits that are in the take-up spool. Okay? And the slits are all the way around the take-up spool, so you don't really have to move it at all. You'll just find one nearby. So then have the leader and go inside one of the slits. And you want to make sure that once you place it in there, you're pushing the film all the way towards the bottom of the camera. So that way the sprockets that are inside the camera match up with the sprocket holes. You can see that the bottom of the film is flush with the bottom of the camera. If you see that your film is up at an angle, you'll have this gap in between. And that will just prevent you from properly loading your film. So make sure it's pushed all the way down, leader is in the slit, and then you can just advance once, twice. So you know you did this properly when you see the film rolling around the take-up spool. Okay? When you see that it's rolling around the take-up spool, that means you're ready to go, and you can go ahead and close the camera and you're ready to shoot. If you see that your film isn't rolling and it's just popping out at you, it's not really doing much of anything, if you happen to see it start coming out the other side without actually rolling around the take-up spool, that means something went wrong. Okay? You have to make sure that your film is properly loaded into the camera. If your film is not properly loaded, if it's not going around the take-up spool like it's supposed to, then your film will not advance. So as you're taking pictures on nothing, because you won't have film going throughout. So make sure that the film is rolling around the take-up spool, and only then can you close your camera. That is how you put film into our film cameras.